Welcome back. Good morning, San Diego. 724. Former Congressman Doug KUSI is challenging his fellow California gubernatorial candidates to regional in-person debates. He joins us now to talk more about that. Hey, Mr. KUSI, how you doing?
Well, Paul, how are you?
I am well. I know you have an appointment to get to, so let's get right to the crux of the matter. You laid down the gauntlet, if you will. Has there been any response?
So far, it's been crickets. I actually think it's very important for people to see all of us who are viable speak to each other directly in person. I just can't imagine why a politician would want to avoid that.
Well, I guess. Wait, let me ask you this. We'll take the long way around. Who do you see as your number one challenger in the race to succeed the current governor?
Oh, I think the number one challenge is not so much an individual, but time. I mean, the Democrats are playing this thing like a fiddle, changing the rules daily. And I have no idea how much time I have in which to make my case to the voters. That's the problem. That's the biggest problem I have.
Well, one argument I would make, though, okay, maybe they speed up the time frame and tweak the rules, as you say, because they look at the polls right now and they like their chances of going early as opposed to perhaps waiting for a major fire or a brownout or something like that. I get their strategy. We can talk to the ethics of it all later. But from where you sit, that's fewer days that you have to raise money for. Right. Sure, it's more compressed, but perhaps it benefits you because you don't have to raise the big bucks.
Well, Paul, you know how this works. I mean, I'm on the road every day. I'm in Turlock right now. I'll be in Fresno later. I'm in Sacramento this evening. I mean, I'm trying to get out to every single community up and down the state. I'll be in San Diego on July 8 and 9. I mean, it's very important that people get the opportunity to see the people running for office in person and to see them compare and contrast themselves. What I bring to the table is experience on both the private side and the public side. It's irrefutable that electing somebody who has no experience does not get us where we want to be. I bring experience to the table.
We had Jessica Milan Patterson on yesterday. I asked her the question, and I'll ask you the same question. You drive down the street, you see the rising gas prices, you see the homelessness in some of our bigger cities. You see a lot of reasons why a governor would not be polling well in a recall election, and yet the current governor is. Please explain that disconnect.
So I think it's a function of people are so stressed out, trying to just make ends meet. They don't have room in their life for all the other things that are affecting their quality of life. My job as a candidate is to point out the problems we have and solutions for those problems, that we can do better than what we're getting today. I think that's plain and simply the challenge here. This is a referendum on Gavin Newsom. Has he done a good job? Pick your issue and make your decision. My job is to give you the facts. And as you pointed out, anywhere you drive, there's evidence of failure.
And yet, if we just start to go by the polls you read in the LA Times, he will survive this recall election. Do you not put faith in those numbers?
So I'm skeptical of polls, but let's just run through a few numbers, okay? So there's 2 million people who signed the petition. There's 1 million people who were put out of work due to the AB5 independent contractor thing. There's 6 million kids whose parents have had their entire lives disrupted for the past year. So while there's some overlap between those groups, there's sufficient number that I think are not being asked the question who will vote yes on a recall.
And one last question, sir, as it relates to Governor Newsom forgetting to put his party affiliation on the ballot, and he's now suing to have that changed. Your thoughts about that, sir?
So I think this is just like a comedy of errors. And it's not just Newsom, it's others. I mean, so Newsom forgets that he's a Democrat when it's convenient for him and walks around like he's some sort of small business guy. Now he gets caught with his hand in the cookie jar. It's kind of like the situation I saw in the San Diego Union yesterday on this article about this Ash Street building. I mean, come on, people, just tell us the truth. Can you just do your job? Seriously.
Well, I know you have an appointment to get to, and you took us right up to the wire of your deadline. So, sir, thank you very much. I'm sure this is not our last chit-chat. We'll speak again.
Nice to be with you, Paul.
Doug KUSI, one of the